Jacob here with Spyder Offroad, and if you have ever owned a Jeep, you've probably heard the word or used the word death wobble. And today we're going to be going over a couple things to help diagnose and figure out what could be causing that death wobble or caster wobble. The first thing I'd look at would be the track bar. The track bar is the bar that connects the axle to the frame, and it's got two bushings on each side, one at the axle and one at the frame. So what I recommend doing is having somebody inside the Jeep turn the key on but not crank it and shake it side to side. When they're doing this, you're going to want to watch to make sure there's no play at the bolt and at the bushing at both the axle side and the frame side. The second thing we want to do is check the ball joints. We do this by jacking up one side of the axle and with the large pry bar prying up on the tire. The third thing to check is going to be the tie rod ends. On the JKs, you're going to have 4 different places where there's tie rod ends. You're going to have one at the pitman arm, and then 3 at the knuckles, 2 on the passenger side and 1 on the driver's side. What we're going to do is we're going to have a pair of pliers, and we're going to pry up and down the tie rod end and where it connects to see if there's play in the actual tie rod end. The last thing that I would check after you checked everything else is to see if there's any play in the actual control arm itself. This can be done a couple of different ways. The way I like to do it is having somebody grab the tires and rock the tire front to back to see if there's play at the bushing of the bolt at both the frame and the axle. Alright, so first we went over how to diagnose what parts need to replace. Now I'm going to show you the upgraded parts that we would recommend to replace those wore out parts with. So the first thing we looked at out in the shop was the track bar. What we would recommend would be the TerraFlex adjustable forged track bar. Now what this allows you to do is if you were to lift your Jeep or lower your Jeep or put a bumper on your Jeep and change the height, it has the adjustability to center your axle back underneath it. The second thing we looked at was the ball joints. Now these are TerraFlex ball joints. These are the ones that I'd recommend to replace your wore out ball joints for a couple of reasons. The first reason is with the TerraFlex, you can adjust the preload, so if they start to get slack, you can tighten them up 2 to 3 times before you would need to replace them. The second thing that I like about them is the amount of places it has to grease them, which allows you to not have to pull your shafts out, which is really convenient in keeping them nice and greased. Alright, the third thing we talked about in the shop was the tie rod ends. This right here is the TerraFlex heavy duty tie rod kit. It comes with the wheel wheel bar and the drag link. Some really cool features on the wheel bar is it's 1.6 inches. It's 200% stronger than the factory one, and it has adjustable preload on the tie rod ends, just like the ball joints. So you can actually tighten them up when they start getting loose up to 3 times before they need to be rebuilt. The drag link also has a lot of really cool features. It does the adjustable preload like the lower tie rod ends do, but on this side with the knuckle, you can run it top side of the knuckle or lower side of the knuckle. What that allows you to do is if you run it on the top side, it can allow you to take off any drop pitman arms you may have with a taller lift and run a factory pitman arm, which will take stress off the steering box and prevent bump steer. Well, that concludes this edition of Spyder Tech. Be sure to check us out online at spyderoffroad.com or look us up on Facebook or give me or Jesse a call at 901-3-SPYDER.